Hey there, friends. All right, I'm coming to you super, super excited because I'm heading to Ireland and Scotland. I'm going to be walking ancient sacred land, standing in the places that have held so many prayers and ceremonies for thousands of years, and my heart is super excited about it. And while I'm over there soaking all that in, collecting stories and taking in the energy of these incredible places, I am going to miss all of you here. And I wanted to make sure that our community stays connected and full of good things to listen to. So I pulled together some of the most loved School of Light podcast episodes for you. These are the conversations that keep coming up and the ones that people message me about and just say, hey, thanks so much. I needed that. So I think they'll bring you some comfort, some clarity, and healing. And I think they're a good opportunity while I'm gone to still stay connected. And hey, if you've heard it before, maybe it's a message that you need to hear again. I will be back very soon with new episodes, new stories, and so much to share from this journey. And I cannot wait to bring a piece of Ireland and Scotland back home to all of you. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for keeping the light on while I'm out there walking in it. And I appreciate you. So also keep an eye out for my shorts because I'm going to be adding some things while I'm there to give you a taste of what we're experiencing. All right, guys, so much love from almost across the pond. Hey there, friend. Have you ever felt something and then immediately questioned it? Maybe a nudge, a sudden sense of wave of comfort, or maybe a thought that isn't the way you normally think, like it just pops in from out of the blue. And maybe you wondered, oh, is that my grandma? Or, was that an angel? Or is that just me thinking? Here's the truth. Most people are not really as confused about whether they're supported or not. So they know they have support. It's just they're confused about who's around them and who's supporting them. And I think that sometimes when we don't understand that and understand what we're experiencing, then we either dismiss it and push it away, or we actually make it a bigger deal than it is. And so today, I'm going to simplify this for you. Guardian angels, spirit guides, and your loved ones in spirit, because they're not the same. They're different vibrations. They don't feel the same. They don't function in our lives the same way. And when you begin to understand that difference, your connection will become clearer, calmer, more grounded. So, not so dramatic, not scary, not overwhelming, just steady. So, let's break this down.
So self-service, that's the way. Welcome to Soul Talk, shine today.
All right, friends, welcome to Soul Talk, where spirit meets real life. I am Sunny Dawn Johnston, and this is a space where we learn how to walk this human experience with insight, awareness, presence, and heart. It is a place where we talk about real things and spiritual things and how they actually are showing up for you in your everyday life. I'm so grateful for you to be here. And so let's dive into this conversation. So I first want to start by helping you understand how our spirit world, how the spirit world interacts with us. And in order to do that, I think the best way to start is by helping you understand the vibrational scale. So the vibrational scale is basically, just to give you an idea, is frequency. It is recognizing the different levels of vibration from us as physical human beings all the way up to the divine creator, source energy, whatever it is that you call God, the God of your understanding. And when we look at the vibrational scale, it helps to us to understand then how the different energies around us, how our angels and our guides and our loved ones in spirit feel to us, because there is different levels, different frequencies, different vibrations. So the vibrational scale starts with us at the bottom. Now, human beings, we're at the bottom. Why are we at the bottom? Well, we are a spirit in a body, and we have density because we are that spirit, light energy in the physical body. So the physical body creates a density for us. And so we are the lowest vibrational energy. Now, when we drop our body, when we die, then our vibration automatically raises simply because we dropped our body. If you were somebody that had a very high frequency, when you were living in physical form, then when you drop your body, you're going to go to the higher vibrational level of the next level where our deceased loved ones live. And if you were somebody that had a very low vibrational energy, then your vibration is still going to raise simply because you dropped the body, but it's going to be in that lower field in this kind of next block of energy. So we move from physical bodies, human beings, to our deceased loved ones, to the afterlife. And in that realm, again, there's different vibrational beings based on your experience in the physical. So then, after we drop our bodies, then some of those that were physical beings that dropped their bodies choose to become a spirit guide, a teacher, a guide, a support for people in the physical realm. Now, the idea that a lot of people have is that their grandmother, their mother, their sister is their spirit guide, and people really hold on to that pretty strong. And sometimes, yes, sometimes that's the case, but it isn't always the case. And this is important to remember. So if you were really close with your grandmother, people's language is, well, she's a guide of mine or she's an angel of mine. Not necessarily. And the reason that's not necessarily true is because not all of our guides are family members. We have guides that are there to support us in a variety of different ways. And I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. So the next level up, though, are those teachers, are those guides that are here to give us more support uh, and to help us on our journey. And so that's the next level. So we've got us as human beings, we've got our deceased loved ones, kind of the afterlife. Then we've got spirit guides. Then we go into the angels and the archangels and even the ascended masters, right? So these are these higher frequencies. And if you notice, we start here and our vibration, we continuously are raising the vibration. So when we want to connect with the angels, let's say, or your guardian angel or the archangels, then what we have to do is we have to raise our vibration. And there's lots of ways to do that. We can talk about that a little bit later. But what's important to remember is as human beings, we're dense down here and not dense like head dense, like dense, but dense physically because of the physical body that is housing the spirit. All right. So, and then we have human beings, our loved ones in spirit, spirit guides, our angels and archangels, ascended masters. Then we have the God of your understanding, divine source energy, creator, universe, love, whatever you call that higher frequency. It doesn't matter to me what you call it. And so if we want to um, start tuning in more and connecting more with those frequencies, with the angels and with your guides, and we have to raise our vibration. And so I wanted you to understand before we dive into each one of the frequencies, what the guardian angels are representing, the angelic realm, what our spirit guides and our loved ones are helping us with. I wanted you to understand that vibrational scale so that you can see that regardless of how they're supporting us and who they are, as we can start to identify and tune into that energy, which is going to happen through discernment and lots of practice. It's important to recognize that frequency, because that's how you'll start to discern the energies that are around you. They'll feel lighter and they'll feel more dense. And so let's dive into the different frequencies. So let's talk angels first. Angels is where I started. If you are new to me, then you may not know that my first experience really stepping into the spiritual realm in really any form was when I was 13 years old, which was a lot of years ago, 42 years ago this year. And I woke up to my guardian angel above my bed, and the experience of my guardian angel uh, created a complete shift in my life. I didn't embrace it immediately, but I did recognize and start to understand at a very young age that there was something greater than what I had experienced, something greater than the people around me were talking about, and something that was real and experiential for me. So, the experience that I had seeing my guardian angel opened up a door, and what it even more than that did was it created curiosity. I was curious. I was raised in Salt Lake City, Utah, and I was raised with very religious people all around me, family, friends, the entire society. I think it was like 87%, 86%. I did study on it one time, um, Mormon religion. And in that religion, women, now I'm 13 years old, 14 years old, women didn't have the ability to communicate with the spirit world. It was the men that were part of the higher ups. There were bishops in the church or higher up in the church that had that ability, not women. And so the experience that I had created a lot of questioning around what was being taught, not only in that religion, but in many religions. And so I always questioned religion specifically, recognized there could be value in it, and also recognized that it minimized the individual being's ability to communicate and connect with their angels, because I just did it at 13 and started opening that door to developing a deeper and deeper relationship with not only my guardian angel, but with the other angelic beings that started to show up, which were the archangels. Now, let's talk specific about the guardian angel. So, your guardian angel is with you from the beginning, is assigned to you from literally from birth. A lot of people like to think that their guardian angel is their grandfather, is their sister, is their best friend. Guardian angel is not a loved one who has passed. They are not someone that you knew in this life because they are not human. Do not have a physical body. They did not walk a physical human journey. They are a divine, high frequency being that is here, that is assigned to you, and to support your soul's expansion, your soul's journey. And the energy of your guardian angel is very steady. You may not even recognize it because your guardian angel has been with you always. And so you may not even recognize the difference in that frequency because it has been a part of your experience for so long. I believe that's why I had the experience at 13, that I saw my guardian angel. So I had the awareness of that presence in my life because I didn't know it otherwise. And in the environment that I was in and that I was taught, you didn't have the ability to connect, communicate, to talk with the spirit realm unless you were a chosen one, specifically male. So the guardian angel's energy is very calming, is very steady, feels protective, feels consistent. It's not emotional, like not up and down, not dramatic. there's not an urgency to the messages and the connection that we have with our guardian angels. It's very steady. And for me, it was very soothing. It felt very um, calming, and I felt this energy of unconditional love that um, kind of just reassured me. At 13 years old, we think back, and maybe some of you have children, grandchildren at this age. My granddaughter just turned 14, and I think to that age. There's a lot of things that you're uncertain. It's a hard age in life, and I just felt this sense of peace, even though all these things were happening. And so I want you to think about that now in your life right now. Have you experienced your guardian angel? Like, throw that in the comments. Have you had an experience where you recognize that your guardian angel is with you, that you've either seen a sign or felt a message or heard a voice or had a sense of that energy around you? I would love to hear that from you, because so many people are unsure. And maybe you are unsure, but you have a feeling like, I do feel like that was my guardian angel. If you've ever felt protected in a time in your life where maybe you shouldn't have been, right? Like, you're like, wait, how did I walk away from that? Right. If you've ever been protected in a situation where it could have really gotten bad quick, if you've felt like there was a lot of challenge around you, but then you had this sense of like calm and reassurance in the middle of the experience, in the fear, then it's likely that you are experiencing that guardian angel energy. And what I want to remind you of, like, my husband just had an experience yesterday, where he was in a car accident, and a city bus, literally just the middle of the bus, like, they just came right over him like they would just roll over him. And luckily, he saw it and was able to have space to pull out, to get out of the way. I mean, he got hit, but it could have been so much worse, right? Think about experiences like that. Have you had those types of things happen? And if you have, throw angels in the comments, and let's hear what your experience was, because what they're doing is they're helping support us and bringing in that energy, in times when it's not our time to go, and it's also our time to recognize their presence. That experience is often your guardian angel's energy. And the thing I want to remind you is they don't override your free will. You have free will. What they do is they guide it. They give you kind of these nudges. They redirect your energy. They give you they give you the attention. Like even in my husband's experience, like he saw, felt at the same exact time. Now he wouldn't call it an angel. I would. Right. So different language for different people. But that's how our guardian angels can show up to help and support us on our soul's journey. And so that little bit of guidance, that redirection, that you're feeling like you're pulled this way, you look at something that you ordinarily wouldn't look at, you read something that you generally wouldn't, that brings in information, knowledge, understanding. They help to protect, to support the life path journey that you're on, and to kind of give it a little bit of guidelines, let's say, not control. They don't decide what it is that's best for you. Their energy stabilizes you. It centers you. It calms you. I think a lot of times what I hear in so many of my clients, and this might be true for you, is that people often say, "Well, I'm waiting for spirit to tell me what to do. I'm waiting for them to show me what my next direction is." Your angels aren't here to tell you what your next direction is. They're here to support you in what you choose your next direction to be. And sometimes that's where people miss the opportunity, is your because we have free will, we get to decide how we want to show up in this world. And our angels are there to support that experience. and they don't get to make the decisions and they don't get to control and direct. They get to support and give kind of the focus point as you make your conscious, intentional, sometimes unconscious choices. All right. So, angelic realm, we got it. Now, spirit guides. Let's talk about the energy of the spirit guides. So the angelic realm, that's like the highest frequency, right? They haven't don't have a physical body, so they don't have the density. So they're in this high, unconditional loving, like pure essence energy. Now we're going to drop down to that next level of spirit guides. So our spirit guides, their energy is more like a tough teacher energy. And maybe I shouldn't say tough, but sometimes tough. So our spirit guides, we have one, what I call master spirit guide, that comes in with you when you're born and leaves with you when you die, just like your guardian angel. That is your master guide. And this master guide is likely with you through multiple lifetimes. They recognize the soul journey that you're on, and it's similar to the soul journey that they were on. So they understand your patterns, your struggles, your edges, the areas you're challenged by. They have similarity to you with your strengths and your learning and your lessons, and the energy is different. Like a guardian angel's energy feels more protective, safe, settled, where our spirit guide's energy is more guidance, more teaching, more instructional. So it's like there's more wisdom there coming from a wise, coming from a teacher that has walked the path. And our spirit guide are, so we have, maybe I should back up. In the angelic realm, you have your guardian angel who's with you throughout your entire journey, but you also have a variety of different angels that are with you at different times for different reasons to support you during a particular time in your life's journey. Same with spirit guides. You have your master guide that comes in with you while you are on your physical journey. And then you have a variety of other guides that show up to help support and teach and guide in particular aspects and areas of your life as well. So the spirit guide energy comes to you and communicates with you through through insight, through like a just a sudden like aha kind of feeling, or through like this deeper uh knowing that becomes revealed, clarity that just shows up, um perspective that is not generally your perspective. Like you're able to see things through a different lens that is different from your normal way of seeing things. Uh, it's deeper, I would say, usually deeper. And when you start to have the experiences with your spirit guides, you will start to notice that that you feel different in different seasons of your life, and the support and the guidance that you receive is different through different seasons of your life. So if you are in motherhood, you're going to have different guides to support you than if you're walking through changes in your career, than if you are experiencing a healing journey, than if you are working on um, building and growing a business and expanding your leadership abilities. And our spirit guides show up, and they're coming and they're going and they're in and out based on our needs, based on your growth. So you may not all need a spirit guide uh once you are through, maybe the foundational learning of motherhood. That guide may not be as necessary as maybe a new guide coming in because you're stepping into a career focus. And so I want you to think of it with our guardian angels and our spirit guides. I want you to think of them as kind of like we have in life. So in life, we generally have different seasons of our life, and there's different people that come into our life for different seasons, right? There's a beautiful poem I love called "A Reason, a Season, or a Lifetime," and maybe I'll put that in the show links here so you guys can check it out. But that really is how I think about our angels and our guides coming in. Is they're here to help support and serve a particular purpose. And when that purpose is served, when we have expanded beyond that teaching, when we have learned all there is to learn from that experience, then they um, they go and new ones come in. Now, think about that in the frame of our life. So, we have people that we connect with a lot when we're growing up. And then our lives change. And, you graduate from high school, you go to college, you meet new people, new energy shows up, new support shows up, new information shows up, new ways of seeing things, new lenses in your life you start to experience. And then when maybe you are stepping into being a parent or getting married, then you're going to have different support than you did when you were in college and going through school. And then maybe when you are really stepping into different levels of career, when you're going through a health crisis, there's different support for you at different times for different reasons in your human realm. And there's not many of us. I think there's some, but most people do not have the same people in their lives that they had when they were 5 and 7 and 12. They might have a couple outside of family, but different people have shown up throughout your journey. And so think about our angels and our guides in that similar fashion. Okay, so remember and so we've got the God of your understanding is that highest frequency, and then we got the angels and the and our archangels and our ascended masters. So we've got that frequency along with our guardian angel, that higher energy. Then we have our spirit guides, and then we move into our loved ones in spirit, those that walked the human journey and dropped their body, died, transitioned, and are now part of your family on the other side. Loved ones in spirit. So they were human and their spirit has risen and they are now souls, so they had their personalities, they had their emotions, they have the stories, the history, the experiences, the fun, all the things with you. And so when we're connecting with our loved ones, now that's going to feel different. There's more density to that, not in a negative way. I don't mean density is negative, but it's more palpable. Um, we feel it more emotionally. When your loved ones are around, you the energy feels more familiar to you, like a recognition. Maybe there's um, a, a joke. Maybe there's a tone that you experience, like, oh, that reminds me of my grandfather, right? Maybe there is a story that you had, a memory that you had that shows up. Maybe you overhear somebody say a phrase that your loved one said all the time. And so our loved ones communicate through all of those ways, and they're communicating also through um, like memory triggers. So they'll remind you of things so that you recognize their presence. The challenge is a lot of people don't recognize that that actually is their loved one communicating with them. So they hear a song on the radio. Now, I'm thinking some of you have had experiences like this and some of you have not. So, this is awareness for you. You might hear a song on the radio and you get home and you tell your friend, your spouse, whoever, you're like, that was so weird. I just heard, this song on the station that I was listening to, but it's a country song. It shouldn't be on this station. Or I had my playlist on and a song that is not on my playlist just popped up. And when those things happen, it's super cool, super awesome, it's so fun, and it's a great way for them to communicate with you. But the challenge is that so many people negate that blessing, that message, that sign from their loved ones because they used the language that was so weird. And when we identify something as weird, we push it away. It negates the gift that your loved one is sending you. So instead of saying, you hear the song and instead of calling up your sister and saying, "Oh my gosh, this weird thing happened, and I swear mom just came through with the song," we say, "This cool thing happened, this exciting thing happened, this awesome thing happened." But we don't want to use weird because actually, friends, this is the most natural thing you could be experiencing. It's not weird. It's amazing and it's natural. It is normal. And so some of the other ways, yes, songs on the radio, scents that just kind of come in like a wave of this scent. And you're like, there's no flowers around me. Why am I smelling roses? Or maybe it's the scent. I always talk about my grandmother, Bonnie, when she transitioned 2 days after she passed. I started smelling Coors beer, and she was a Coors beer drinker. She'd been an alcoholic her entire adult life. And I do not like the smell of beer, and I don't like the taste of beer. And so immediately could smell beer everywhere I turned. I actually remember I was working on a project on my desk back here, and I was writing something and it was for her. And the beer just kept overwhelming me. And I'm like, Grandma, please, like, could you bring me a new smell like Jergens lotion? You used to give us Jergens lotion every Christmas. Like, how about that? Or we bought you Neutrogena soap. Or how about the lemon heads that you always ate? Or like, please, anything besides this beer smell. But the reason I'm sharing this with you is it's not necessarily there isn't judgment on the way that they show up. They're just sharing things that you will be able to identify them with. And that's exactly what she said to me. You won't confuse me with anybody else. Nope, sure not. Right. So sense. They'll bring memories to your mind that maybe you've forgotten, shared experiences that you had that you haven't remembered in a really long time. And one of the biggest ways that our loved ones show up is through dreams. So people will call those dreams, but they're not actually dreams, they're visitations. So the visitation generally the common way that a lot of people experience visitation is that um, they feel in the dream, it feels real as if they are actually in the experience of um, uh, whatever it is that they seem to be dreaming about. And so it feels very real and it feels very vivid. And that generally is a visitation, not a dream. They are coming to you in that space through the dream state because it is a place where your ego is out. And so you can just receive it as is. You're not judging it, criticizing it, trying to figure it out. You're just open to the what isness of that experience. And so that can be a really powerful way for those messages to come through. And it's for comfort, it's for reassurance, it's to let us know that they're still with us, that they haven't gone anywhere. They're they're here to let us know that they exist. And I've never been one to feel the need to prove to anybody that the spirit world exists because to me that's like proving that life exists, like, it's everywhere, like, it doesn't but I do know and understand that some people need to learn and develop and understand that, so our loved ones will visit us, they'll connect with us, they'll give us these signs and these messages and, these symbols so that we recognize that they're with us, and part of why I wanted to do this subject today is because so many people right now are struggling with discernment, and that's what is necessary is discernment will begin to create some more peace in your life when you can recognize that not every presence around you is your grandma or your dad, and not every sign that you see is your guardian angel. And not every thought that you think is your spirit guide. It's learning how to discern the difference and understand the difference between each one of those frequencies. And one of the simple ways to be able to do that, and actually learn how to live this way, right? Because we have to learn how to discern who is who so that you can live that way, so you can apply this to real life experiences. So, my suggestion for you is number one, when you have that nudge, that sensation, that feeling, first just ask yourself, does this feel calm or does it feel urgent? Right? Because when we're connecting with our intuition, which is how the spirit world communicates with us, the guidance, real, true guidance, is going to feel calming. It's going to feel grounded. I know that's kind of a funny word when we're talking higher frequency, but it's going to feel centering, and it won't feel urgent. Fear is actually what feels urgent. Okay, so that's the first question I would ask myself. Does it feel calm or does it feel urgent? If it's urgent, it's likely more your ego, your fears, your worries, your concerns. Then, does it feel personal, directly specific to you, or does it feel more neutral? So, if it feels more personal, that is likely one of your loved ones in spirit. There's more of that heart connection, not because our guides and our angels don't love us, but because that personal energy is a way you will associate with them. So that your loved one's energy is going to feel more personal. The angelic energy, the spirit guide energy, is going to feel more neutral. It's going to feel more supportive, but neutral. And then the other question I would ask myself is, it is the experience, the energy of what I'm experiencing right now, is it expanding me or is it contracting me? Like, even notice in your body, does your body feel like, like open and loose, or do you get tight? Because when it's guidance from your spirit team, it will expand you. That's what true support feels like. It feels expansive. It's not negative. It's not panicky. It's not fear based. It's not shame. It's not dramatic. None of those things. It's opening you up, and it's like, like awareness, like insight, connection. And what we need in order to expand our abilities to discern the difference between our angels, our guides, and our loved ones in spirit is we need awareness. We need presence. And so I guess that's what I would leave you with for today until we move into our heart to heart segment, is being present, tuning in, being aware, and inviting your angels, your guides, your loved ones in spirit into your life. The way that I do that is each morning, as part of my practice, I open myself up to my connection with my team, with my angels, my guides, my loved ones in spirit, the God of my understanding, ascended masters. Like, I'm open. Hey guys, you're there. Come on in. I'm ready to receive you. And the words that I use that might be helpful for you is, I invite them into my space and I say, allow me to experience you in a way that I know, feel, see, or hear that it's you. Just allow me to experience you in a way that I know it's you. And what that does is it sets an intention, it creates an invitation, and it opens the energy to experiences. And if you are somebody like right now, as you're sitting with all this information, I'd love to hear, what do you feel like you connect more with? Do you connect more with the angels? Do you connect more with spirit guides, or do you connect more with your deceased loved ones? Or maybe you're in a place where I'm not right now. I'm just stepping into this. Then I'm open. Well, that's great because then you got a blank slate. You're like you get to step in and you're learning how to discern the difference. That's a beautiful gift. So, let's before we move into our heart to heart segment, we're going to take a little moment for our sponsors, which is my webinar coming up. So I want to personally invite you to this webinar that I have coming up. If you have been in a place where you are wanting to actually develop your intuitive skills, where you are wanting to learn to discern who is on your spirit team, not just be able to tell angels, guides, and loved ones, but actually who is it, then I want to invite you to join me for my next webinar, which is on April 7th. So Tuesday, April 7th, I will be hosting a free live webinar inside of my School of Light, and it's called Meet Your Spirit Team. So during this live experience, what I'm going to do is actually help you to meet your guardian angel and your master guide in a very grounded, heart-centered way so that you can actually experience them. Maybe you'll get a name. Maybe you'll see them visually. Maybe you will recognize the support that they've always been offering you, but you didn't know the difference. And I'll teach you how to be able to tell the difference between your intuition and your imagination. We'll dive deep, much more deeply into that discernment of the different frequencies. And I'll give you a guided visualization to begin to connect more with yourself. So I think, I've taught this many, many times over the years. And so many people are surprised by what shows up, the feelings, the thoughts, the images, the names, the recognition, the peace, the calm. Like it's such a great, great opportunity to just expand your learning. So if this topic speaks to you, then I want to encourage you to register. It's a free class, free webinar. The link will be in the show notes, and we'll throw the link right here as well. Just schooloflight.biz/webinar. And if you can't attend live, then you can register anyway, and you will receive the replay. I would love to be able to guide you through this in a way that really creates connection for you. All right, friends. So now we are going to move into one of my favorite parts of our time together for our Soul Talk podcast, and that is our heart to heart segment. Real questions, real experiences, real growth. You always have an opportunity to submit your questions in advance. So if you're interested in that, you can go to schooloflight.biz/heart to heart with Sunny. And we're going to dive in to heart to heart next. So let's get our music queued up. Ready? Yeah, open up the door. Let's do it, friends. All right. So I know we have some people in our chat that are chatting it up, which is great. I love that. So keep that going, and let's see if we've got some questions that are showing up. You guys, if you're in the chat, go ahead and just ask a question right in the chat. I had a couple that came in, so I'm going to answer those ones first, and then I'll go to the live questions from you right now. So, first question is, how do I know if the guidance I'm feeling is actually support or it's just anxiety? Well, it's a great question. And it's one that I would say if it's anxiety, it's not guidance. If you are experiencing anxiety, that is your mind being in some kind of future based fear. So anxiety lives in the future, depression lives in the past, meaning that's where we focus. And if you are asking for guidance and you are then experiencing anxiety, you are not tapping into the actual energy of guidance. What you're tapping into is your fears, your worries, your hesitations, the stories that you're telling yourself. And so, what you want to recognize, and the way we can discern that, friends, is that true guidance, guidance from your angels and your guides and your loved ones, is not going to be fear based. It is going to be oftentimes direct, might not always feel airy, fairy, warm, and fuzzy, but it is not going to create fear. It's going to be very just kind of solid, grounded information, direction, support. And so if you're feeling the fear energy, that's your head. And that's how we can actually discern the difference. All right. So that's a great question. I hope that helps. I know so many people who really struggle with anxiety, especially right now, you guys. Our world's got a lot going on, and people's lives, there's a lot going on in your life that's affected by a variety of different external factors. And also always remember that the most powerful, the factor that makes the most difference is you, is the way you feel, the way you think, the actions you take, and your power is within you. Don't give it outside of you. All right. The next question was, if I don't believe in angels, do I still have support? I think I answered that one in advance today, because many of you know my husband is not into this realm at all. We've been together 33 years. It works great. We have an unconditional loving energy in our relationship. And also, we see things and think very differently. And so he had this accident yesterday, and it could have been much, much worse. And it wasn't. And I believe that those were his angels that were helping support him and keep him safe. And he doesn't. Guess what? He was still supported and he was still safe. So, do you have to believe in them for them to exist? No, because they're already with you. They are with you from beginning to end. So you don't have to believe in them, and you still have that support. Now, here's the thing, it's, I think anyway, way more fun to feel in that energy, to tune into that energy, to experience that energy. I think it creates more of a sense of support and connection, relieves a lot of fear. But if you don't believe in them, I've got no problem with that. I have no problem if you're skeptical. I don't have a problem if you're like, I don't believe in any of this shit. Like, it doesn't matter to me. You believing in it doesn't make it different, or not believing in it. Now, if you do believe in it, then you will be more open to the signs and the messages that come. But even people that don't believe in it get signs and messages, and they just call it something different. I don't really care what you call it. So, yes, you still have support and you can still receive it. All right, let's see. Do we have some questions in the chat? Okay, great. Let's see, guys. Hang tight. Okay. This is a comment. I think you just answered my question, and I may need to attend on April 7th. I always assumed that I was connecting with my loved ones. I would love to find out if that is true, or who the heck is coming through. Okay, so great question. So yes, absolutely. The webinar that we're doing, the free webinar on the 7th, would be valuable for you for sure. What I would say is right now, up until then, because you've got a month or so, I would start asking who it is that's connecting with you. Like, you actually, guys, you can communicate back with them. You can say, who's with me right now? Let me feel into that. You can start to discern based on those vibrational scale, the frequency I was talking about, but you can also ask. And when you ask, your nature is going to be to ignore it, almost like, oh yeah, well, I'm just making that up. But why? Why would you make that up when the answer could be, I don't know, it could be like it's always been. So when you ask, you put the invitation out. So I wrote a book many years ago, guys. I was just thinking about this. This was 15 years ago. I wrote this book, Invoking the Archangels, a 9-step process to heal your body, mind, and soul. it's on Amazon and in my shop on my website and all that kind of stuff. But this book, when I was writing it, one of the things that Spirit gave me was a 4-step process, and the 4-step process was ask, allow, believe, receive. And when I was writing it, I'm like, that's interesting. First off, I would have put receive and then believe. And Spirit was like, no, no, no. It's believe and you receive. But the start of it was ask. And I realized that throughout my life, because of my curiosity, because of my experience I had when I was 13, my curiosity always led me to ask. I've always been an asker of people. I ask lots of questions. I ask of spirit. Like I'm always asking. And what I realized when I wrote this was they were saying when you ask, you put the invitation out because here's the thing to remember your angels and your guides and your loved ones in spirit, they don't have the power to just redirect your life. They can't be like, oh, you know what? Sunny's kind of screwing it up down there. We better go and get her on the right path. There isn't a right path. It's my path. It's a soul's journey. But what they can do is subtly give you those nudges that align with your highest, greatest good. And so when you ask, you invite that energy in. And so to me, like, well, why wouldn't I ask? Why wouldn't I ask for my whole team to be with me? And then you can start to learn to discern the difference. So I hope that answers your question in just begin by asking. So again, the 4 steps, ask, allow, that means get out of the way. Don't judge it, just let it come. Believe the message you're receiving in order to receive the thing that you're asking about. Receive the guidance, receive the sign, receive the message, receive the support. Okay, ask, allow, believe, receive. All right, next question. I seem to go through times when I am so intuitive and then go for a period when I receive nothing. Why? Really great question. This is a common question. I'm so glad you asked it. Uh, Usually, the reason is that we get busy. We get busy doing life. We get busy doing all the things. And so we're not as present in our lives. So our presence, the more present you are, the more you catch the signs, the messages, the symbols uh, when you're present. When you're not present, then it's easier to kind of disconnect, shut them out. Because the thing I want you to remember is spirit doesn't ever leave you. Your angels don't leave. Your spirit guides don't leave. Even your loved ones that are in spirit, they don't have a body any longer. So their essence is with you and can be with 100 other people at the same time. They don't leave you. What we do is we leave. We check out. We get frustrated. We get overwhelmed. We get busy. We get distracted. We use these things instead of using this thing to guide us. And I think it's important, really important, actually, to remember how much power you have and how much power there is in presence. And so if you can step into that presence and recognize and just do a little self-evaluation, like, okay, well, where have I been? Have I been creating space? Have I been meditating? Have I been inviting the energy in? Have I been um, giving myself 10, 15 minutes of quiet space where I can be more open, where I can tap into my angels and guides? And if I haven't been doing that, then maybe I will start. Because if you start, that's when your intuition starts to expand. I've taught intuitive classes for 25 years. And one of the membership communities that I have, we do an intuition class every single week. And the fun part and the hard part is that when people have the experiences, sometimes they're surprised at how easy it is when they actually just take a little bit of time, our little hour class, and are actually focused and present. So in that hour, if you're focused and present, you start to have these signs and these symbols and these messages that show up that give you that validation and direct where it is that you're going, right? So opening up our intuition, it's not as hard as we make it. and we make it hard, and it's not necessary. Okay. All right. Let's see if I have any other questions. Think that's it. All right. As far as live questions, I have one more that came in. So I'm going to go ahead and share this one as well. Sometimes when I try to connect, I feel overwhelmed. How do I connect without feeling flooded? So that's the opposite of the question we were just asked, right? Like there's so many things coming in, there's so many messages and signs and symbols. I I relate to this. When I first started, it was like I was taking notes from the angels. Literally, I just would write down all these different things that were coming, and I felt flooded. And that was actually a good word to use. I never used that word, but it may be that you just need to move the energy out of you. So when I wrote, I loved to write when I was young. And so maybe just writing would help move some of that energy out. Because the other thing, the reason we feel overwhelmed is because we're already full. We don't have a lot of space. And so creating space, maybe there's some things you need to take out of your mind, off of your heart. Doing a brain dump could be something that's good because then it wouldn't feel so overwhelming to you. I do want to give a different perspective of the word overwhelm, though, because I actually used to use that word a lot, and Spirit gave me a different perspective of it that I think could be valuable for you. And what the message was that when you feel overwhelmed, it is the energy, the feeling is coming from the reason it's happening is because you have been asking for blessings, miracles, experiences, gifts in your life, and they're all coming, and they might be coming kind of all at once. And so you're struggling to keep up with the blessings that you yourself have asked for, that you yourself have prayed for. And so, if that's the case for you, then the value could be in recognizing, okay, I've asked for all these blessings. Yes, they're happening all at once. Oh my gosh, why are they happening all at once? And getting into the energy of gratitude and appreciation, and then finding space, creating space. And I know that's not easy to do in the busy world that we live in, and it's necessary to do. So I hope that answers your question. All right, friends. So as we come to a close today, I want to take a moment to thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being present. Thank you for showing up and for being willing to live with more insight and more awareness and more discernment. We are here every Tuesday, same place, but not same time. So catch this, guys. Time is changing this Sunday. And right now, we are doing this show at noon Arizona time. Next week, we're also going to do this show at noon Arizona time. But Arizona doesn't change times, which means that it is going to be a different time for you if you are Pacific time, Mountain time, Central time, Eastern. So noon Arizona time next week will be Pacific time. So noon Pacific time is when the show will be on throughout until November. All right. So we're here, the same place, not the same time next week. And I want to remind you to like, subscribe, share, follow. Anybody that might need this on YouTube, you can go ahead and share. And I'd love to hear. Give me a heart, give me a message. Let me know what you got, the value you got out of this class. And I want to remind you to remember that when we allow our divinity to guide our humanity, that's when life shifts and we step into more love and more light. I love you so much, friends. And again, real quick reminder, if you want to join us for the webinar, if this stirred something inside of you, if you're like, yes, I want to take that next step, then, and you're not quite sure how to connect, then come and join me on April 7th, where we will dive in. It'll be some information, it'll be some experientials, and I'll guide you to meet your guardian angel and your master guide. And I am certain that If you come and join, you will have an experience that you can walk away with that makes a difference in your life. So come live if you can. If you can't, there will be a replay. And I look forward to seeing you. Thanks, friends. I will see you next week. Same place, not same time, unless you're in Arizona, Pacific time, noon Pacific time, Tuesday. Thanks, everybody. Have a beautiful rest of your day.
So self-service, that's the way. Welcome to Soul Talk Shine today.